In the very beginning, God made a wonderful, perfect world. It wasn't just good, it was a festival of joy and life. He painted the sky with brilliant sunrises and filled the oceans with sparkling, splashing fish. He planted a special garden called Eden, a place more beautiful than you can ever imagine. Flowers of every color bloomed everywhere. Their sweet perfume danced in the air. Animals of all shapes and sizes roamed freely. Fluffy and furry animals, big and small animals. And there was no hurting or being scared. It was a place where everything worked just the way it was supposed to, a place filled with God's happy song. Into this perfect garden, God placed his most precious creations, the first man and woman, Adam and Eve. They were God's children, and he loved them with a never-stopping, never-giving-up, unbreaking, always and forever love. God would walk with them in the cool of the day, like a daddy spending time with his kids. They talked and laughed together. There were no secrets, no tears, no goodbyes. They were perfectly close to God, wrapped in his love. They didn't need clothes because they weren't hiding anything. They had nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to fear. Their hearts were full of peace and joy. God gave Adam and Eve a wonderful gift, freedom.
He told them, "You can enjoy everything in this amazing garden."
Have a feast. Eat from any tree you see. And there were so many trees, bursting with juicy, delicious fruit. Peaches, plums, pomegranates. They could run, play, explore, and enjoy all the wonderful things God had made just for them. It was a life of complete freedom and delight. God wasn't a rule maker who wanted to spoil their fun. He was a loving father who wanted them to have everything good. He loved sharing his world with them. But God gave them one rule, just one. It was a simple rule to keep them safe. In the middle of the garden stood a special tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
God said, "You may eat from any tree, but not this one."
Because if you do, a terrible sadness will come into your hearts. It will break our friendship.
You will know about bad things and you will die.
It wasn't a threat. It was a warning. A loving caution from a father who knew what was best for his children. A way to protect them from a deep hurt that would spoil everything. One day, a new voice whispered in the garden. It didn't sound like God's loving voice. It was a slithery, sneaky voice. It belonged to the serpent, the most clever of all the animals. But this wasn't just an animal talking. This was God's enemy, who hated God and hated God's children. He saw Adam and Eve so happy and safe in God's love, and he wanted to spoil it all. So he slithered up to Eve when she was near the one tree they were told not to touch. He came to tell a lie. The serpent was very tricky. He didn't start by shouting a big lie. He started with a little question, a question designed to plant a tiny seed of doubt in Eve's heart.
Did God really say you can't eat from any tree in the garden?
He twisted God's words to make God sound mean and stingy. Eve corrected him, explaining that they could eat from almost every tree, just not the one in the middle. She remembered God's warning. If we eat it or even touch it, we will die. She knew God's rule was for their good. But the serpent was ready with his biggest, most terrible lie.
You won't die. God is just trying to keep something good from you. He knows that if you eat this fruit, your eyes will be opened.
You'll be just like him. You'll know everything, good and evil. It was a lie wrapped in a tempting promise.
Be like God, know everything?
Suddenly, the rule didn't seem like a loving protection anymore. It felt like God was holding them back. The seed of doubt began to sprout into a weed of distrust in Eve's heart. Eve looked at the fruit. Before, she had probably walked past it every day without a second thought. But now, after the serpent's lie, it looked different. It looked so good to eat. It was beautiful to look at. And the serpent's promise echoed in her mind. It would make her wise. The temptation was too strong. She forgot about God's loving voice and listened to the hissing lie instead. She took the fruit, and she ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, who was right there with her.
And he ate it too.
It was one small bite, but it would change everything, forever. The moment they ate the fruit, something broke inside them. The serpent had promised their eyes would be opened, and they were. They didn't become like God. Instead, for the very first time, they saw that they were naked. They were embarrassed. They felt bare, exposed, wrong. The beautiful, innocent closeness they had shared was gone. replaced by a need to cover up to hide from each other. So they grabbed some fig leaves and quickly sewed them together to make clumsy coverings for themselves. Then they heard a familiar sound. It was the sound of God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. Before, this sound would have made their hearts leap with joy. They would have run to meet their father, ready for a walk and a talk. But not this time. This time, the sound filled them with a different feeling, fear. They were afraid of the one who loved them most. Their sin had made a wall between them and God. So they did what people have been doing ever since when they feel guilty. They ran. They hid among the trees, hoping God wouldn't see them. But you can't hide from God. His loving voice called out through the garden, not with anger, but with a sad, searching question.
Where are you?
Adam answered from his hiding place, his voice trembling.
I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid.
But it wasn't being naked that made him afraid. It was the sin in his heart.
Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?
Instead of saying sorry, Adam started pointing fingers.
The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit, and I ate it.
He blamed Eve, and he even blamed God.
What is this you have done?
And she pointed her finger too.
The serpent deceived me and I ate.
No one wanted to take the blame. Their perfect friendship with God was broken. Their perfect friendship with each other was broken. The happy song of the garden had stopped, and a sad silence had fallen. Because Adam and Eve chose to disobey, a deep sadness entered God's perfect world.